Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Gymkhana Josh, and welcome to Beyond the Apex, where we talk about motorcycle everything, and then some. And tonight we have an awesome show. We got some really interesting guests tonight. We're gonna dissect ladies in motorcycle culture. It's gonna be a good conversation. We're still in the world, like we're still in the middle of this worldwide pandemic. Again, I'm not a news organization, so I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I just want to say a shout out to all of the medical workers, the first responders, anybody that's considered essential personnel. Thank you for doing what you do. You're keeping the world running right now. You're keeping our country running right now. And yeah, we really appreciate what you're doing. That's some good stuff. So if you look to the left of me, you'll see that Butter is located over there. That's my co-host. Hustle King's family, kind of a celebrity here in Brooklyn. What's up, man?
Not even in my own house.
How you doing, man? How you been doing this week? Actually, you had some big stuff going on this week. What's going on with you?
So we received an award from ESPN, the Go Lick and Wingo show. So someone nominated me and one of my Hustle King brothers for doing some hero work with serving food to the EMS workers and stuff like that, and working with the Black City Riders, and also working with feeding the homeless. And we received a $5,000 check as a token of their gratitude for what we've been doing for our city. God bless you. Uh, so we decided. I mean, they gave us this money for me to do whatever I want, but I went and redonated it back into the community. So we split it up into several charities just to give a little bit, so that what the people doing in Brooklyn can continue to go on.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. So our guest for this evening, down below me, bottom left of your screen, is a fellow track junkie, YouTuber, Yogi, gets enjoyment out of luring the girls away from their dudes to learn how to ride. Um, she's actually like super helpful. When I first started like presenting the idea of the show to her and what we were doing, she was like, well, you should try this, and wouldn't it be cool if you did this? And man, there'd be so many different opportunities. If I was like, well, I wanted, and then okay, and then I just started like writing things down, and yeah, she's basically one of the most helpful people I've ever met in a short period of time. Throttle Gypsy, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you being here. How you doing? How you been doing, and what you doing this week? I think our video just cut.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord. She'll just like vanish as soon as I started talking about how awesome she was. Just
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you and we can see you now. Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
People know I'm doing this right now and they're calling.
Oh right. Oh, on Skype. Oh, they're messing it up.
You need to put your phone on like do not disturb.
That's just to note that you'll have to have me back on so I have my technology down.
I mean that's a definite. That's a definite anyway. You ladies gonna be back no matter what. But how you doing? What's up with you? What's going on with you this week?
So I'm good. We're homebound with the whole pandemic, working with the kids, enjoying it. We just did movies today, taught them how to do phone movies, had fun. We're missing out on the writing, so we're trying to manage our not writing depressions. But having fun with the kids, cooking dinners and bonding in the house and thinking about being on the bike, going to my garage.
We're just looking at it, just like
bike,
caressing it, like oh
petting
yeah,
them. Waiting for a sunny day.
Yeah. All right, so now the bottom right of your screen is the founder of Ruts to Race Lines, organization dedicated to helping women build confidence, skill, and just become better and safer riders. She's been a track monster for many years, plays in the mud, and one thing for me that I really respect is that she found an opening, like a need in the community and the culture, and she created something to alleviate that missing link. And that, in my opinion, for anything that you do, whether it be motorcycling, cooking, or like any whatever your hobby is, That's super respectable. I love that. Marika, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. What's up with you? How you doing?
Oh,
What, did she freeze too?
she froze.
She's got like
So until Marika unfreezes, I will co-sign on that she's one of the baddest females that I know, one of the baddest writers that I know. And just like Josh said, she's brought a lot um, of the track world, a lot of females to the track world. And she's given me a really good start in that arena and building the confidence. So when she's able to get back on, she'll be able to tell you all about it. If not, I can, talk some to
she
it.
just
But
she just sent me
anybody
a
out there, I'm
Facebook
just gonna
message
put that
saying
plug.
that her
You
computer
want to
shut
get
down.
on there.
By the way, it's not me this time. It's not me. I didn't do this. But
This time it might be
she
us.
said it was her computer shut down. As soon as she comes back up.
Marika did make a good
Mm.
point. Butter's a new addition, so it might be him.
Yeah.
I've been on the show 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
To them, you were new. To you, they were new. Like, whatever. Let's not point fingers. Let's not point fingers.
Josh, don't you? Let's just keep it bike related.
Yeah.
Don't you notice that the two Cowie guys have no problem? The two Ginger people still have problems.
Oh my god.
Like the bike.
True.
Again, it's not the bike you ride; it's the rider.
All right. So, episode 3, Beyond the Apex. It's ladies' night, as long as they can both connect. But we're talking with these ladies tonight, and anyone who chimes in on the YouTube chat about a woman's experience in the motorcycle culture. I think there's a lot of things that us as guys, we just not necessarily take for granted, but there's a lot of things that we miss. I had the opportunity to sit down to talk with Marika and Throttle Gypsy last week, or actually it was just a couple days ago, about the ladies' perspective on riding. And turns out there's a lot of things they approach with riding that's a lot different than the typical macho, stereotypical dude perspective. And a lot of things I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous of things they do, because I wish I had that experience as a rider, but you got to be a lady to experience it, apparently. I don't want to focus too much on history. I don't want to focus on ancient history. For a long time, motorcycling has been a guy-dominated sport and culture. But a little bit of statistics for you. I mean, just the latest thing that was put out, I think it was 2018, says that 20% of all riders are females. I don't know if that's owners or riders or what the exact specifics of it are, but the statistic was put out there. 20% of riders are female and growing. So they're not a minority. I mean, they're still a minority, but they're not a small percentage anymore. 1/5 of riders are females. They're definitely a community, and they definitely have their own thing going. So I want to talk about the future.
Your volume just kicked out, and now I can't hear you.
For real?
No,
There you
are. Gotcha.
There you are.
You went back on.
I want to talk about the future for the females. I want to see where things are going from here, where we can go, and what we can do to support the movement, what we can do to keep the momentum going for growing this sport, to bring more ladies into it. And I'm going to try and work on getting Marika back in the conversation. She's really big on it. But
there we go.
One thing you had told me, Throttle Gypsy, was that you wanted
Josh, your audio's cutting out, Josh.
You wanted to get girls away from their dudes. Explain that for me, please. What is that about?
So this time it is you, it's not me. But I think I know what you said. You're talking about going to the future and getting females into it, getting them away from their males to gain more confidence. That's what you said? Okay, good. So starting off with, you mentioned the 20% of the population. You're right. It's a very small population, and I'm a sport bike rider. So there's an even smaller population of sport bike females that I've noticed. And one of the things in terms of getting them away from their men. Something that I noticed is that a lot of females find their confidence in riding with their boyfriends, their husbands. Um, they might ride on the back and they're scared to get their own bike. So one of the things that I like to try to do is get them away from their men, because in that term, what I hear a lot of is, oh, well, my husband, he helps me through my turns. He lets me know when I'm, how I should set up to prepare for a turn. So a lot of females are depending on their men to ride their ride for them, vice riding their own ride. So how do we go forward in the future, right? Female mentors, I mean, guy mentors for the females is good, but female mentors, you see another female riding and teaching you the moves to be safer, the moves to be smoother. Um, it makes a big difference on how a female learns. I've taken plenty of females who were used to riding with their men, or they're shorter, so they have a lot of throttle control issues. And I've got them away from their boyfriends and their husbands. I said, just give me an hour, and I will have you confident. And by the time we're done, they get back to their boyfriends, their men folk, and they're riding better than their guy folks, because their guys might be riding on the street, for years, or not taking those next level classes to even improve their riding, because they just know what they're doing. So that's one of the ways to move forward for getting more females in the sport. Another thing is, let's go into the rest of Raceland, Marika's organization on the track. I had my mentor. We had the same mentor to just really grab us and get us to the track, right? So my third track day was at one of Marika's events, and you talk about a lady oriented event. It's the only one that I've seen that is literally geared towards women, with the coach to rider ratio is optimal. So you get that attention that you need. A lot of timid riders, males and females can be timid, but the females tend to be more timid about it. I think psychologically we just are self-conscious when we have to be better, and if we're not up to that standard, why are we not?
Why,
So
why do you think, why do you need to go to a female focused track day though? Like, what is the draw between doing that and just like from a regular organization?
so uh, so I'll tell you, for me, I'm good co-ed, but that's my background, right? Other females, we bond differently than guys do. We were talking the other night, and what did I say? It's literally a girl sleepover with motorcycles. No pillow fights, but they're
Somebody called her. It's kind of bugged out, right? That she kind of like,
oh, okay.
oh, there she is.
There you go.
So, Throttle Gypsy, I'm gonna indulge you for a second.
Do this.
So, I trained my ex-wife how to ride, right?
Yeah.
And she always said that the worst person to ever train someone is your spouse.
Yep.
So here's my theory on this. Not everybody's a good teacher, and I'm not saying that I'm a great teacher or nothing like that. But my approach to teaching her and her being confident. So when you ride with somebody in the back of your bike for like 20 years at 180 miles an hour and not fear it, like I've been on the bike with her at 150, 160, and she's snoring. Literally,
I'm
like
back.
there's
Oh
drool
snap!
on the back of my shirt. Hey, there's drool on the back of my shirt from her sleeping at some point. And when I decided to teach her, the first approach I gave was do not disencourage the rider. Females, especially like you said, when they're learning from their spouse, they feel threatened already because here's the superior guy. This is the guy who's been doing it for 20 some odd years, and he's gonna really chew me out when I mess up. So three things that I did to encourage that was to look at other female riders. That was always the first thing. I'm a huge fan of female riders. I think it's the most sexiest thing God could have created was a girl on a bike, and encouraging her in a way where when she made a mistake, I didn't want to like get on her like you would get on a kid or
Right.
you idiot, you messed up. I would just say, hey, let's just revisit this and see where we went wrong. And over the years, it succeeded because she went from stopping traffic in the middle of the Bell Parkway to now doing 160 miles an hour on the Garden State.
So you made a perfect point in terms of how you approached it, but I will say that that's something that we actually talked about the other night. Learn from the spouse. You might be a lot of females. We have a mentality too, and like I told my husband, he doesn't ride yet. We talked about getting him on the bike. I said I will not teach you. Period. I know from a female perspective, a couple of the drawbacks is if you have that guy, like you said, if the approach is just do it, just do it.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 20 years, it's this easy. Well, of course it's discouraging.
Absolutely.
So you got that kind of teacher. And a lot of guys that I've seen, like the females, they'll say, well, my husband just tells me just roll on the throttle a little more and go fast. I'm like, okay. And he's wondering why you're in a ditch, right? Kind of a problem.
So you're right. So
But-
this is where I'm getting at. Like, so I try to tell her, like, I can't give you all the answers, right? I'm glad that I'm glad that you rely on me for the answers, but I do have AVV Racing. I have guys like Ricky O'Hara. I got Team Fast Life. I have a lot of dudes. Ride Like a Girl. There's girls up at New York Safety Track that I'm friends with that I can always reach out for that type of. I need a girl right now. You know what I mean? I don't want to take the credit because what I taught her were the basics, and we encourage her a lot to do the track. Like she's gone to New Jersey Motorsport. She's gone to New York Safety.
I want Marika, now that she's back in here, to elaborate on this actually, because the question was the question.
I was just being
No, you were disappeared. You were frozen like
Mama, join in.
for quite a minute
how
there
this
as your computer restarted. The question was, why go to your events versus another like co-ed track event? And I know the other day you had, please elaborate. Let the viewers know why join a lady focused rider event versus a co-ed. What's the reason? What's the draw?
So when I started track riding, the one thing that I noticed is there's a lot of women who are interested in the track, but they're intimidated. They're intimidated to get out there because they have the mentality that it's a racetrack and it's just fast people, it's just racers out there. And some guys are too. I mean, that's their mentality. A lot of the street riders, they think that track is like, it's a racetrack and it's intimidating for them as well, but definitely more intimidating for women. So what I wanted to provide for women is an opportunity for them to come out and try the track in a less intimidating environment. There's less people. It's first of all, it's women only in your group. If you choose one of the women only groups that I provide, and you're riding with your peers. So you're riding with other women who have the same mentality. They have the same.
You said more
skill
coaches
set
too.
as you.
That was one thing you said. More coaches
Right,
too.
right. I was getting to that.
No, sorry. Sorry.
So what I provide is a less crowded track environment, and there's at least 20 coaches in my event. Now, you'll never have another track day where there's 20 coaches available. It's usually track days or through normal organizations are saturated with riders. Per group, there's 30, 35 riders in each group and, maybe 3 or 4 coaches to that group. Come to my event and the max absolutely sold out event, which I haven't hit yet, you're going to have 25 riders. Right now, as the events are growing, you're probably looking at 11, 12 riders per group with 5 or 6 coaches, maybe more, because I want at least 5 coaches out there. So that gives a ratio of there's 15 riders out there, 3 riders for each coach. You're going to get some attention. You're going to come off the track learning a thing or two.
Yeah, actually, one thing that I did wrong. I told you a couple days ago when we talked, when I was just down in Georgia, there weren't a whole lot of coaches when I was down there, and I didn't really reach out to anybody and like grab somebody by the shoulder and ask them like, hey, can you please follow me? Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? And I mean, sometimes people don't want to like go out of their way. Maybe some introvert wants to just ride their bike and get better, but they don't. Not even just an introvert, but maybe somebody's just not that type of personality. They don't want to have to like grab somebody and actually like pull them onto the track to follow them or coach them or whatever. And to have that many coaches out there with you is a super awesome benefit. That's really cool. That, as I said in the beginning, that's one thing that I'm kind of jealous about. Honestly, that's kind of cool. I wish I had the opportunity to have a track day event like that, but I'm not a lady, so I don't have that.
And I encourage the ladies not to just, you start working with one coach and you kind of bond with that coach, and you'll go through, you'll try out different coaches, and you just don't know, you don't communicate well with one another, and you'll find a coach like, oh my God, this coach is badass. Like, they get me, they understand when my bike goes what I'm saying. Like, that coach understands.
How's that go again?
While while the coach over here doesn't understand. But I encourage everybody, all riders, even you guys, don't get stuck on one coach. Each coach that you ride with will give you a little tidbit, a little bit of information that somebody else didn't mention. And you're going to find it. You're going to take all the little tools that every coach gave you. You're going to have your own toolbox. And when you go out there on the track, you're going to have an aha moment when you put all that stuff together. And you're not going to get that from just one coach.
That's true.
She's absolutely right.
You're going to get it from different coaches.
You're absolutely right. When I'm at New Jersey Motorsport, I notice when I'm with Pete Swisser. I don't know if you guys know Pete. I call him Pistol Pete. He's always with Paul Miles. So when I'm riding with either one of them, I always get different feedback, but it's all positive, and it's so right. Um, and back to what I was saying about the ladies, I totally respect what you guys do, and that's why even me, like, I've a lot of females have said, oh, Bud is a great coach and all this and that, but there are things that I can't say, or it doesn't come out the same for me that it would from a female perspective. A lot of times, I don't know if you guys know Jenny from Cycle Gear out in Jersey. Like when I'm with the girls, I'm like, yo, you got to talk to Jenny. She's so great because she has such encouraging stuff to say that I probably wouldn't say. You know what I mean? Or it doesn't come out. So I always try to encourage any female rider who I teach to just go out there and interact with the female riders at the track. There are a lot of girls. I mean, my favorite track girls in New York Safety Track. She's 14 years old. She's a savage. She laps me all the time. I'm always going back to the paddock and be like, all right, come on, be nice, man. You lapped me twice this time. So
on a 300 with your Busa, right?
Yeah. So she's on the 300, and I'm like, come on, man, you're making me look bad on the ZX10. But you know what? And she has and even when I'm with her, her dad allows me, because she's a lot younger than I am, but her dad allows her to speak with me, and she's even giving me tips like, Jose, this is what you're doing wrong. I saw you at turn 5. You did this while I was passing you, and I'm like, all right, man. But you know what? It is what it is. But again, what Throttle Gypsy was saying, guys are very hard on girls, so they do make the worst teachers. And I, as a guy who's taught women and had success with them, I still encourage female riders. There's track places like yourself. There's Ride Like a Girl. There's Bad Kitty. There's all different types of stuff. Girls definitely encourage the girls to go out. I know New York Safety Track has like a female only track day on, I think it's like a Friday. I went up last year, it was just all females, and all those guys just sitting there talking about, isn't this sexy? Isn't this sexy? This is fly, like girls are flying off the track, and it's all girls. So you got like 20, 30 bikes like coming off the track, and you're like, this is dope, man. I'm for it. I promote it in any which way, and I salute you women who actually do this on the forefront.
You know what?
Women know how to talk to each other. We know how to communicate a lot better. And spouses and boyfriends or girlfriends make the worst teachers. My husband will tell me something, and then some stranger will come and tell me the same thing. And like, for some reason, I can't make that connection when he's telling me, but when the stranger tells me, I'll do it, and it works.
Absolutely.
He said the exact same thing, but whatever it is, there's a mental block there when it comes to significant others and teaching you. It just doesn't work.
I think you can. You probably can have that communication. But one thing I'm really jealous of, again, this is probably just going to be me talking about how jealous I am of the female track days, but the fact that, you can have some ladies on the track, and as you both were talking about earlier this week, how when you come back to the pit, you come back to the paddock, and you guys can talk about things. It's like you're all trying to like communicate and learn from each other and like encourage each other. And I guess you can find that in a co-ed track day, but generally speaking, in my experience, it's like pretty standoffish. There's a lot of guys that are like, you know, I'm the
It's
big
very
badass.
clicky.
Yeah.
You've got your clicks.
Yeah, I'm the big
and
badass
with
out here,
us,
and
we
that's
don't.
it.
Yeah. We don't have that. We encourage each other. We go, Shannon is my like right hand girl, and we go through the paddock.
You about to
and
say
we,
right
like,
hand man?
I was.
Right hand
We go
staff.
through the paddock and we make sure that everybody's having a good time. If anybody's having any issues and this and that, and you know, that's unique.
Mm.
The camaraderie, the ridership, the friendships that develop in all women's events is what makes it lights my fire to do these things.
Not even just events though, but out in the real world, when you come across like a lady biker, is it like instant friendship right there?
It is, absolutely.
Well,
Instant friendship.
It's like that same mentality that you get. Like dudes, y'all see each other. You know, most dudes don't compliment another dude's jeans, right? But women were like, hey, I like your skirt. Hey, your hair's really pretty today. It's the same at the track. You know, we get together.
Can't y'all be catty too though?
Compliment. Well, yeah, but that's a personal thing. But what I will say is that I don't see that a lot. Like within this community, I don't see a lot of cattiness. I haven't seen a lot of cattiness. But again, when it comes to women's events, I'm at Marika's events. And even with the co-ed events, the men are supportive, just like Butter was saying, sitting in the stand saying, man, I love watching these girls go around. Right? You go to a female basketball game and dudes are like, man, this is so slow. But in this motorcycle community, there is a lot of support for the females, for us females. There are some aspects where, you know, we may get or feel talked down to. We'll talk about that when we get around there. But at these lady events, I mean, you talk about, like Marika said, camaraderie and bonding. It is, I've gotten close with a lot of guys at the track, and I love it. My mentor is a guy. Most of my track day fam, they're guys. I love it. But I get such a rush, and I get so excited knowing that I'm registered. Marika will tell you, like, hey, I've got the schedule for this year's Ruts to Raceland track day. And it'll be like 8 months out. And I'm like, I'm already registered, Marika. I'll see you there.
I got
and, and I'm already like hitting my track ladies up. Hey, are you going to be there? I'll see you. Oh, I can't wait to see you. Like, dudes don't get on Facebook and say, I can't wait to see you. I really miss you. Wait till we get on the track.
We do.
Wait. Oh, well, we do. We be like, yo, can't wait to see
private messages. Man. We have private messages. Thank you.
Private messages. Oh, we let ourselves be known. I can't, you know what I mean? And when we get there, it is just that we're excited. If there's someone, like, I'm not a coach, but there are females who are more timid, like Marika said. And I take joy in going over to them, even if it's their first track day and I've never met them, you know, going over and say, hey, I noticed you're a little timid. You seem a little scared. Don't be.
I want to interact for a second. Someone was saying that we brought up some really good points with the female track. So I would like for you guys to give out any information that a female who's listening can grab right now. What can you tell them? What website, phone number, whatever you have, please put it out there. What track do you guys actually go to?
So my Ruts to Racelines event, so to get my full schedule between the all women's dirt bike riding classes that I offer, and then the all women's track days. The all women's track days is at NC Bike in North Carolina, and we're only having one event this year. It's going to be a Saturday and Sunday track day, and right now we're looking like it's going to go on, and it's Memorial Day weekend. So 2 weeks, 3 weeks, May 22nd through the 24th.
So what's the best way they can reach out to you so that they can, if a female wants to go out to you guys, please plug that in.
RutsToRacelines.com.
I got that on the screen right now. So
the full schedule, on there, yeah.
What we're gonna do is, because I also put on track days up in here in New York at New York Safety Track, so I would probably offline we will chat so that I can plug the females that I have here to you guys, and then maybe we can talk to Greg and get a nice female and team together because he does a female track day.
I know. Greg knows me and I know him.
Awesome.
We knew each other when I was with Team Promotion, and they offered me. So I do this as a private day. Like, I'm not a track day organization. I'm just a girl trying to offer other women an opportunity to get on the track. That's less intimidating, that's empowering, and where they can meet other women riders and ride with their peers and have a great time without and have a great time. I just leave it at
No,
that.
you're absolutely right.
So,
Because I also, I'm one of the first time I actually brought females down to the track. I met a girl from Philly named Queen B. I don't know if you guys know her.
I know her. Yeah.
She's from Philly, and I tell you, that's what we need at the track. She was so like open up everything, help us take bikes off the track, off the truck. She was setting up chairs, umbrellas, and that's it. She was like she rolled out the carpet so that the girls that we had felt like, oh man, this girl really just went all out to help us total strangers. And obviously as guys,
here's
we
the
know that
thing.
'cause we go through that.
Here's the thing. The reason I go to North Carolina is because that's where I can afford to rent the track. I charge just enough. Again, you don't have to buy a membership to ride with me or whatever. I charge enough just to pay my expenses, which is the track rental and the insurance. That's it. I'm not making money on this. You know what I mean? The problem is I cannot afford to rent New York, or I can't rent New York Safety Track on a Saturday. I can't get enough women on a Friday to cover expenses, and I can't touch motorsports to rent it for a day. Can't touch it. I would have to charge, because you think about the small percentage of women, female riders, and then you take that percentage and you think about how many ride track. Okay.
Yep, you're right.
For me to afford New York, New Jersey, I would have to probably charge close to $300 a rider to be able to afford it.
For a weekend or for a
running
day?
Greg is running a special, $5,000 Monday through Thursday.
Wait, is that
That's the
$300 for a
thing.
day or for a weekend?
For
a day. It's
Monday through
weekday, and it's still, on a Friday is considered a weekend, so it's more. Again, to get, 30 women, which is probably the average, 30 women to come on a Friday, which means they have to take off work to pay $5,000. I'm going to have to charge over $200. Plus, that doesn't even include insurance. And I'm not sure if that includes the ambulance and the crew, the flaggers.
Yeah, it's 5,000 from Monday to Thursday. That's track and the full staff. And it's minimum 40 people. So I did it because we're about to do it for Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think it's like 175 a person, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, I just throw it out there because with this COVID-19, a lot of places are closed.
Right.
He owns his property, so I mean, let's shoot him a call. I mean, I can help you facilitate because I do have a handful of females here in New York that would love to jump on that.
Oh, I've got the reach. Like when I was with Team Promotion, we did Track Day Girl. Like I had groups up north. The girls were coming, and it's grown since then. So I have the women. I'm in touch with the women up north. The problem is they just won't come down in North Carolina. So if I could provide them an event up north, absolutely, let's get together and do it.
Yo, this is a question. This is something that I find really interesting. Actually, it's hard to grab guys, right? It's hard to grab guys and be like, hey man, you got some okay skills on the street, let's take it to the track. Let's see what you can do and how you can improve. You must have almost an impossible task in front of you, pulling females to the track. How do you swing it? Like, how do you get so much interest? How do you what?
It's word of mouth. Yeah. No, it's word of mouth. A couple women started coming to my events. They told their friends, hey, come to this great event. I had such a great experience. I learned so much. They tell 3 more of their friends. And next thing you know, just like last April, I had 50 women. So, that's how it happens.
That was an NC? That was an NC bike?
That was an NC bike.
That's pretty amazing. I couldn't even figure out 50 people that would go to the track.
With the lore.
So a lot of people on the chat are really cool about like how we're really encouraging the female riders. So what I want to do is we'll get offline. I'll chat with you, but if we can go back to normalcy, I'd like to start something where we can up north set up something and have either the brand, one of my brands, either Kawi or Yamaha, get involved in this female stuff to throw some money at us. So that's something I will put together with the big honchos up at corporate brand. I think that is a great idea, and we need to encourage more of it. And if there's any way I can assist, please let me know.
No,
because
we're gonna be talking. I've been in contact with from Cowie Chandler. Can't remember her name, but
you have
I've had some
Jennifer
communication.
Top. She's our Eastern
Jennifer
feature.
Top, that's who it is. Yes,
That's my
yes.
girl, Jennifer. I love Jennifer. She's
Oh,
great.
so you have okay, good. We're gonna talk.
I'm
So
no,
yeah,
I'm a Cowie
so
dealer.
Jennifer knows. She knew what I was doing when I was with Team Promotion, when I was doing with the Track Day Girl, and she's familiar with me with what I'm doing. So let's get that
Listen,
together. Let's make
we
it happen.
we definitely would have a three-way email. I have her email, so I'll send you my email. And what I will do is I'll let her know that it's something because Cowie 300, 400, and 650 are probably the bike of choice for most females,
Yep.
especially when I sell brands. The R3 has not been a favorite for the females. Somehow the 300 and the 400 Cowies have been the girl's choice. So, with that being said, Cowie needs to understand that if females are buying your brand, you need to appreciate them just as much as you do the guys.
Yes.
So another thing I wanted to ask is, I'm sorry to transition, not totally related with that, but just in general, female motorcyclist conversation. What irks you? What do you find in your daily motorcycle life that irks you? Like, why am I treated like this, or why am I experiencing this as a female when I'm just a motorcycle rider? What bugs you?
This is you, Shannon. This is all you.
Get him, girl.
Yeah, actually, yeah. This was the inspiration right
Well, there's this, and
We got 20 minutes. Go.
okay.
here. No, we got all night. We can talk for the next week if we want to.
So let's see. Female to female, there are the ride with most of the guys because when female.
I want to interject that when you say this though, the guys that are watching right now, they will take note. Like if this really bugs you, they'll internalize this. I promise you. This might make some sort of a change. So you better put it out there. Put it out there.
So I'll drop it out for guys and girls, right? So females that ride, those of us that actually get out and ride, like to get out and ride. And so I'm limited on the female groups, because I do like an all female ride here and there. But when we plan something, hey, do you want to go? Well, no, I'm waiting for my man. Or no, I just like to really look cute on my bike and take pictures. And it's just like, why do you have a bike? So there's that aspect. Say it ain't so, right? So there is that aspect that, again, once you get them away from their boyfriends and their men and get them really into the riding, then females, we can get together and have a really good time. As far as guys on the street, you get there again, there's a lot of support from the guys, but then there's this, ooh, I'm going to be so impressive, because girls looking at me on my bike. I sat and watched some dudes the other night at the gas station. And I'm looking and I'm talking to my kids, and my kids, they look and they're like, Mommy, he doesn't lean over. Look at his tires. It's pretty bad when they're looking at your tires, talking about how you're going straight up and down.
Oh, sweat. Oh, that was a good one.
And, and these dudes are looking over like, oh, yeah, she's looking. No, we're not always impressed because sometimes we have our own ride, and sometimes we might outride you on the street or the track. Be okay with it,
I do it by a 14-year-old girl all the time.
I have a similar story, Sharon.
Yeah.
My husband and I were out. Our favorite street bikes. We have little 125 monkeys, little Honda monkeys, right? Little. We take those fucking things everywhere. We love them. We take them off road. We've taken them into the mountains. So we went to a restaurant. We're coming out of the restaurant, and a guy's checking out the bikes. And we walk over to the bikes. Oh, those are really cool, but they're street legal. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, why don't you get a real bike? I'm like, because I got 6 in a garage.
Right.
Like, which one you want me to take out?
Right.
AIM is just our favorite bike for the street. Yeah.
And that's the thing. They people assume, kind of like when I was pregnant with my last one, I drive a Dodge Challenger, and it was, shoot, I'm about to go dead. And one of the things that I kept hearing, oh, you're gonna get rid of that, right? Okay, tell it to my motorcycle, tell it to my big truck, tell it to my other badass cars that I have. Leave me alone and mind your business. But here we go. So if you meet a female, some of us actually know what we're doing with our bikes. I've been riding 5 years. I've had a great mentor, and I decided I'm going to work on my own bike. So, we appreciate help like anybody else, but don't assume we don't know what we're doing. One of the
True.
biggest compliments
Preach.
for me
Preach.
is that he's my track homie. Hi Corey, he's my track homie. Loves him, and I love him because he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I hear you ride," and I'm like, "I really want to learn to ride better," because he rode a little bit. I said, "Okay, come down to my house, meet me at the school, and I'll show you some things." He actually showed up. So for me, that was a male ego that's just being tamped down to recognize here's somebody that might be able to offer me something. He said he wanted to get to the track. Okay, I'll get you there. He actually bought his stuff, and about 3 days later, hey, I've got my stuff. When are you going again? Okay, so that those are things that you just need to be able to have things to offer. And then when you are at the track, or even excuse me, or even on the street, if you notice that somebody's having trouble, here's one of those differences. At the track, I get on the track, I'm having a rough day. To me, it might be in my head, I'm still learning things about my bike still, right? But when we come off the track, you hear basically how to unfuck yourself, right? Oh, well, I'm having trouble. I feel this, I feel that's going on with the bike. I'm sliding. Well, if you turn the throttle this way, and if you squeeze the clutch, and if you just kind of nurse the brake, no shit. No, I mean, really. I've been driving a stick shift for, over 25 years. I think I can figure this. But when a guy comes off the track and he's having these issues, what does the guy hear? Well, have you checked your tires? Have you checked the clutch? Have you checked this? Have you checked that? Right? Clearly, it's the machine that's broke, not the rider. Where the female comes and it's the rider that's broke, not the equipment.
I think that can go both ways, though. That can go both ways, though.
It can, but I'll say that I notice a lot more. Again, the community is very supportive of the females, but how we approach each other is different sometimes. And that's where I'll go into for Marika's event. What makes it wonderful is you've got coaches from so many different organizations. They come together, and to evolve when TPM was down here, TPM, I mean, you had coaches from everywhere with the common goal. We want to get these female riders, specifically these female riders. And it's a privilege for these guys to ride in a couples group with their ladies. It is a privilege for them. But these coaches grab these ladies, and it's not so much of that, how are you jacked up, but what can I do to make you better? At Marika's event, Donna came over, and Marika,
here we go.
Throw it in there. I'm going to throw it in there.
Do it.
You said there's some things that a guy can't tell a lady, but if you're a coach, I mean, this is a technique.
Yes. Talk about this.
You may want to get comfortable.
You say it, please.
And I do have women coaches, which I'm trying to grow that community as well, because again, women know how to talk to other women.
Yep.
And coach, I want to throw this in there before you get into what Donna said.
Okay.
The coaches love to teach women, and you want to know why? Because we fucking listen.
We listen.
When you tell us to do something, we're going to go out there and do it. Guys, egos.
At least they listen somewhere, because they don't listen at my fucking house.
Well, listen to what you're saying. I mean, that's the guy on the computer. No
I'm just. I think this is great. I'm actually, the fact that you live in North Carolina is awesome, because I want to take one of my.
Nobody here lives in North Carolina.
Oh, where you at? Where you at?
I'm in Maryland.
Oh, you're in Maryland. Oh, because I heard North Carolina. I guess that was.
That's where we go to the track.
They go down there, yeah.
That's
Pay attention, man.
I want to go ride these mountains.
And then,
But it's funny you say that. My ex-wife has an R1, and a lot of guys are like, "Oh, you riding that?" And I look at them, and she looks at them, and I'm like, "Sick 'em. What's the difference? Like, you can't ride one because you could afford one just like he can. You know what I mean? And then we also have Indians, so it's like, oh, you got that? I mean, what's the difference? If me and you both work, we could afford the same damn things. You know what I mean? So I really understand where you guys coming from because I see it a lot, but you know, I allow you females to defend yourselves because I love to watch you shrink these guys down to size. I think it's pretty dope. I encourage it. We have a female rider here in New York. Her name is April Jeter. She is a badass bitch on a bike. She's badass. And we also have a female rider called Coco, which I've seen Coco blow by me and I thought I was parked because she's that badass. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dudes out here in New York that she can smoke. And she definitely we actually was talking about going to the track. Like she's like, I know I'm really gifted on the street, but I want to perfect my craft because that's what I talk about a lot. We can be really good street riders, but there's a lot of perfection and perfecting the craft
I'm
that
sorry,
you
I'm
get at the
laughing
track
because
that
I'm
you go.
watching Throttle Gypsy just
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. No, she's doing
walk
her own thing.
around and like
She's doing.
Okay,
show the
you know what I'm saying?
lights.
I told that he's
But
dying.
one thing,
It's so
Outside
funny.
of work.
one thing I
Sorry.
promote to the females and anybody who does track is that no matter how good you are in the street, you can always perfect your track, your craft at the track, and that is the safest and best place too. Because I've been riding a very long time, and the first day on the track was like amazing. Was like
Um,
one of the best things.
so I'm not.
What
I'm
about
not gonna
Nevermind
lie.
Track? What about Nevermind Track? What if a female doesn't want to even go on the track? What kind of like outlet do they have? What kind of you know like
So
good positive
I was
influence
going
they
to
have?
interject in there, and Butter was saying about learning. You know what's going to make you a better rider, and not just the track?
Mhm.
Dirt bikes.
yeah.
Dirt bikes will absolutely make you a better, safer, and more aware rider.
Yeah.
When I was coming up through the different groups in team promotion, and right before I got bumped to advanced, I hit a plateau, and I was like at a point where I didn't know what else to do. And when I was pushing my bike, I was a hard breaker into like turn one, and the bike would start skipping around, or it would move underneath me. It would freak me out, right? So everybody, the coaches were like, get a dirt bike, get used to the bike moving underneath you. And I was scared of dirt. Like it freaked me out because dirt moves.
Yeah.
Like pavement is solid, you know what I mean? But I made myself do it, and I didn't have any professional coaching, and got myself on the dirt bike, and you know what? It helped. It absolutely helped, and I dropped. Now, mind you, I got some suspension work done, so I made my bike, really set up for me, which helped too. Between setting up the bike correctly and getting on a dirt bike and getting used to the bike wiggling and me not coming off the throttle when something would happen like that, I dropped 4 to 6 seconds at each track that I
Nice,
went to that season.
nice.
What
That's how
about
much
what
of a
about
difference it
females
made.
that
So
just don't want to go to the track just yet though? Like what
so
if
here it is.
they just want to buy a bike and like get involved, but they don't like the macho douchebag dude like
So
community? What if they just want to get involved? What is their first step into the community? What do they do? What's your
find a
recommendation?
mentor.
I would say
Find,
contact another woman rider,
find a
because
mentor.
another woman rider on the street was absolutely, we would take her underneath her wing and show her around, introduce her other riders. I would absolutely say contact another female rider.
You got Throttle
Mhm.
Gypsy?
So so that's what find a mentor. And that's anybody. Sorry if I went dark. My technology.
That's racist.
Um, so like I said, find a mentor. One of the things that I do, again, I grab them and I'm like, we're going to the school before you ride with me. We're going to the school. Um, and the first question is, you know, how's your throttle control? Usually it's not as good as they think it
I
is.
don't know. I just
Things are
started riding a
physical.
motorcycle. What's my throttle control
Well,
like?
exactly. I'll tell you, I've got a friend right now who she's been talking about getting a bike for a while. She just finally got one, and I was talking to her today, and she's excited because I'm going to get her to the school and teach her
When
how to
you say
first.
school, you mean the
I've got
track?
a school. No, I've got a
Oh,
school next to my house, and
oh,
really
like at a
any
parking lot.
school with a parking lot
Parking lot.
will get
Got
them
it.
there. My
Got
other
it.
girlfriend, she brings her cones. Cones are good,
Put them in a little backpack. We
and
ready to go?
put them in the backpack. Let's go. Set them up. And one of the things I do is first get them comfortable in a closed environment because the course that you take is a few days. The MSF course is a few days. but you're going to learn the basics, and they're good basics. But to learn how to really ride and get confident, throttle control. I take them to the school. I make them go as slow as possible. Hey, I want you to go nowhere. And they realize, wait a minute, I can do this. Shorter riders, a lot of female, you have shorter riders. And once they learn that throttle control, how to balance the bike while going pretty much nowhere, it really makes a difference. Next thing, show me what you're doing when you think you're counter steering, because everybody knows how to counter steer. But I'll
On the
tell you
books.
what, Cycle Cruiser taught me how to
Cycle
counter steer.
Cruiser.
Cycle Cruiser was right. Okay.
I watch his
And,
ass too. Shout out to Cycle Cruiser. That's an awesome,
Cycle
awesome
Cruiser.
channel.
And so, I'll get them. The next thing we'll do, they're counter steering like this. And I show them how to counter steer properly. I take them on a road for a nice slow ride, and they get comfortable. And then, just like my mentor with me, as I progress and gain his confidence to actually mentor others, they go out and they're able to mentor others. They're able to, even on the street, like I'm comfortable on the street. I have a 750. Yes, butter. It's a Gixxer.
That was your first mistake.
And it's blue. But I have a 750 and I take it on the street. I'll hit a back road and I feel so comfortable. Like I feel home. Maybe it's all the wind, the nice wind and the pretty grass and the animals on the side. And then I go to the track. If I can get them to the track with the lure of a like really good gear, well, now you bought your gear. Don't worry about the trailer. I'll get you there. Then we can get them to the track when they're ready, where they can then refine their skills. I go to the track and I'm in my head. I can go on the street and I'm like, meh, meh. I get on the track and I'm screaming in my helmet. Nobody knows I'm screaming in my helmet because they're looking at my body position, but I'm screaming in my helmet. And so they're different environments. So getting them on the street and keeping them on the street, again, I grab them, find a mentor. Females, find a mentor. Find a female mentor if you can.
Or
a male
shout
mentor
out
is just as good.
these sites like Marika's events and
Yeah.
different organizations. I mean, honestly, if you go to any track day event, you're gonna have a good experience. I think Marika's events, you're gonna get a little something extra if you're a female. But just go out there and just make that first step to get involved, and then you'll make connections. You'll find that next person that's like, wow, we actually have this connection. Like, you're a lady, I'm a lady. You like racing on the track, I'm racing on the track. From there it can grow, but you have to at least make that first step in the door. You can't just sit back in your house and be like, well, I ride my Gixxer and I'm a lady
Well, I know,
rider and this is all I do.
I know I know up north. If you're interested, if the girls are interested, there is Ride Like a Girl out of New Jersey Motorsport,
Okay.
and there's also, I know Queen Bee's been doing a lot. Actually, she's doing a lot of parking lot stuff. They're doing like this back end track stuff over in Philly, but any of the females want to up north want to get in touch with them, they are definitely good people to that I've learned to see that they're really good people for what we're trying to promote. I think they're ambassadors of the sports for females, and we need more of that. And I myself personally, any female up north want to learn how to ride, I will teach you for free. I will teach you for free, and put you in tune with the right people like yourselves, and just bring it. Just bring it.
That's good. All right, so now is a good opportunity. Closing comments. Butter, what you got? Ladies in the motorcycle community, closing comments. Go.
That's my thing, man. I'd rather ride with a bunch of girls than a bunch of these arrogant guys, even at the track.
For
We
a
talk
lot of
about this all the
reasons, yeah.
time. Yeah, a lot of these guys, even at the track, man, they're so busy trying to pass each other and not worried about their
Yeah.
time. So that, for me, I rather, again, my idol is a 14-year-old girl at the track. So for me,
Is that Kayla?
yeah, Kayla, yeah,
Isn't she awesome?
she's fucking amazing. Listen, this is the third show, and Kayla's name comes
Every
up. You know
time.
why? That fucking good.
I've
She's that
actually
good.
asked her to come and coach at
Yeah.
my event. Yeah, she keeps having a conflict with races and stuff because she's everywhere. She's doing mini bikes and she's
Savage.
Oh, we can conquer
She's a
racism
fucking
later. We can
And she
conquer
is.
that.
and so for me, I enjoy that because not only do I get a satisfaction of watching you guys do it. My whole goal and my goal as a rider is to invent or create the baddest female rider out there. Like, I want to be able to be like, sick 'em, girl, and that's it. You're smooth. You know what I mean? Like, that's my goal. Not to do it to a guy, to have a girl do it. Like, go get him and just embarrass some guy.
Throttle Gypsy, what you got? Closing comments.
So I'll say one, mentors. Two, get confident, break away from your guys, get out there, meet other females. There are a few of us. Get to a ladies' event if you want to get to the track. Even if you don't want to get to the track, go to at least one. You'll have much better coaching. And since I didn't get to say it earlier, the best piece of advice that you won't get from a guy, and if you do, it will come with a disclaimer that he's not being fresh, is tits and toes. Add the
Yeah, I
tank,
said, lay it on us.
or
Let
as
it
we call
say
them,
it.
titty missiles. When you go into your corners, turn out, point to the direction of your corner. It'll make a difference. To the guys, you know, check the ego sometimes. Some of us know what we're doing. Some of us know the mechanics of our bikes. We know the mechanics of what we're doing on the bikes. And there's a lot we can teach you as well as each other.
Truth.
That's pretty much the biggest piece. You know, if you have trouble finding other females to ride with, because you can meet a dude anywhere. I can go to any bar up the street and meet a dude to ride with. I think my husband will frown on it a little bit, but you know, whatever, right? But I went on meetup.com, and that's where I met my best friend.
That's a good place.
You know, my best friends riding, 3 of them. I love them to death. Wouldn't change for the world. 2 of them are gone, but one is still here, and we're tight, thick as thieves. So there are ways to meet other females and get that comfortable mentoring. Lastly, guys, as you're teaching your women to ride, even if you are patient and providing the best advice, remember that we still don't want to disappoint you. So if we get frustrated sometimes, even though you're being patient and we're not getting it, sometimes that's in our head because we don't want to disappoint you. So if you find another female rider to help her out, do it. Okay, I've said my piece. And thanks for having me on here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Marika, what you got?
Pretty much Shannon said it all. If you're a female rider and you want to learn, whether it's just learn how to ride or see if it's for you, go contact another female rider, whether it's me. I can connect you with, no matter where you are, somewhere on the East Coast. I know somebody in a state where I can connect you with. If you're all the way up in Maine, I can guarantee you I can hook you up with somebody. If you're in Rhode Island, I can hook you up with somebody. So contact me, contact Shannon, reach out to another woman rider, and they can connect you. Whether you're just interested, whether you're starting out riding, we can definitely point you in the right direction.
Okay.
If you're interested in track riding, but you're not sure if it's something you want to commit to, go to a track day and just watch. Kind of get a feel for it. I used to encourage that. I used to have meet and greets where I would encourage the women to come out and just hang out. That way you know what's going on. You know how the sessions run, you know how the day runs, you know how long you're out there and what's expected of you, you know where to set up, where the bathrooms are, because that's pretty important. And
It's true, though.
that way,
It's
if
true.
you decide to come to your first track day, that intimidation factor is out. That is one less thing that you have to worry about because you know how the day goes.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to do that as well. But reach out to one of us, reach out to Women Riders, reach out to Josh, reach out to Butter. We'll hook you up with somebody and get you going.
So, honestly, all takeaways from this, I think anybody that's watching, whether guy or girl, male, female, whatever you identify as, it doesn't really matter. The takeaway is that there is an organization out there that can cater to your needs. There is somebody that wants to take you under their wing and teach you how to ride on the track or be a better rider on the street or just have a community with you. So don't feel like you're alone in this world. Don't feel like you're the only one or you don't have any connection into this type of a hobby or community or whatnot. They're out there. There are people that are out there creating this for you. Tonight specifically, it's about the ladies. It's really hard for a lady in the motorcycle community to feel like they have that influence, that connection, and it's out there for you. It's not just a guy thing anymore. And guys, you can't just post up on your motorcycle with a leather jacket and think that ladies are gonna think you're super cool anymore.
Yo, I am not gonna forget what she said about her son. You gonna have a lot of dudes sandpapering the side of their fucking tires. That is so funny.
Right?
That is the best.
You
Yo.
can't just post up anymore and think that you are super cool anymore, because girls can have a bike. They can have leather jackets. Actually, they can go to the track and they can be better riders than you. So you better step your game up. It's not
I want to
so
say
simple
we're
anymore.
growing.
Yeah.
We're growing as a
Yeah.
community, and you better look out, boys, because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
for it. I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, it's not so
On
simple
little
anymore.
bikes too.
we're
I-
coming for you.
I'll say this too, though. Things that we have in common, honestly. Tonight we talked about the differences, but in the end, what we have in common is that we all enjoy the bike. We all enjoy the feeling,
Absolutely.
the freedom, the ride, the thrill of it all. That's what we have in
Community.
common.
That's
The
what we have in
community.
common. We have
That's
a
the bigger community, yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely want to get you guys in touch. With we're gonna do this Jennifer Top thing, but
Yeah.
huge shout out to one of my big sponsors, Prospect Power Sports. It's female owned. I just want you guys to know it's female owned, female run. She's huge on this track stuff, so we're all gonna get together in a group now because she's actually reaching out to Mo. Mo is also a big guy from Cowie, so we'll definitely have to get
I
this.
know Mo too.
Yeah, so we have to get this email together because
Yeah.
her and Mo are really good, and Mo's always willing to throw money at the track. So
And
def-
I have raffles and sponsors and support for my days. So that's one of the fun parts, the camaraderie at the events, because I have cookouts and we do raffles and we do a bike wash where
cookouts,
the
you
guys
got me.
wash
You
our
got me.
bikes.
nice.
Get your hot shorts
So-
ready, butter.
So we're gonna talk. The four of us, we're gonna still
300
continue
pounds,
to
yo.
be in this Skype chat after the live stream ends. But to all you guys out there that are watching, I do this every Wednesday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Beyond the Apex, we have different topics, different guests. Actually, we'll probably have some repeat guests. Actually, these ladies are so awesome. I'll probably have them back on at some point in time to talk about something else. So please tune in, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. Just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. Yo, Throttle
Thanks for
Gypsy
having
and
me.
Marika, thank you
having
so much. You
Thanks for
ladies are
having me.
awesome. You're
Shout
awesome.
out to my sponsor, Mike ProLids. Always.
Here we
holding
go.
it
Here
down,
he goes.
my fella.
Here goes Butter shout out. Here we go. Set your timer for like 15 minutes.
Nah, man. Listen,
I'm just kidding.
Prospect Power Sports,
Actually,
my-
Butter's doing a lot of good things. Butter's doing a lot of great things for the community. So if you haven't been checking him out, Hustle Kings BK on Instagram, check out his stuff too. Because, damn, I've never met anybody that's been doing so many influential things in the community. Honestly, he's doing some great stuff.
Thank you, man. Thanks,
Any
y'all.
closing marks? Any closing marks from any of you guys?
It's a strong community. Like Marika said, we're growing and also growing in the racing, not just the track days.
Yes.
So I do want to throw that out there. We've got a lot of females that are awesome racers, and whether it's the all-female circuit or the co-ed circuit, guys, get ready to be beat by a few female riders. And it's
Oh,
not
snap.
about the gender; it's about the
Patricia,
The
Shalina.
challenge. The
Yep.
challenge is laid out there now.
ability.
Mhm.
It's about the ability, not the gender. And I'm going to
Can
tell
you-
you, we listen.
Just
All
send
right.
me the track. Just send me your track days so I don't show up because I ain't trying to get smoked. on that.
Roger.
All right. Well, with that, thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate it. We're about to end the stream again. All of
Hey,
us that
Butter,
are in
let
here
me
right
know
now,
when you go
please
to
stick
New
around.
Jersey next.
Don't
That's my home
disconnect right
track,
now,
homie.
but I'm going to end the
Okay,
live stream.
definitely.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Appreciate
I
you
talk to
guys
Shelby
joining
all
in.
the
And as I
time, so
always
I'm
say,
waiting.
leave this world better than you found it. Take it easy.
Thanks, Josh.
Y'all stay